What's the creepiest thing that happened to you that nobody believes? When I was 16, my parents left for a weekend wedding and trusted me to stay at my granddad's old house to look after our dog. It was about 20 minutes outside town, surrounded by fields, with the nearest neighbor almost half a mile away. The house wasn't scary, just old. Every floorboard had its own opinion. The first night was completely normal until around 2:30 a.m. I woke up because I heard footsteps upstairs, not creaks, actual footsteps. Slow, steady, like someone walking from one bedroom to the next. The problem was, I was sleeping upstairs. I froze. The footsteps stopped directly outside my bedroom. I stared at the door for what felt like 5 minutes. Nothing happened. Eventually, I convinced myself I'd imagined it and somehow fell asleep. The next morning, I checked every room. Every window and door was locked. I laughed it off. The second night, it happened again. This time, the footsteps started downstairs. They walked through the hallway, paused outside the living room, then slowly climbed the stairs. Step, step, step. Our dog had been asleep beside my bed. As soon as the footsteps reached the landing, he stood up. His ears perked forward. Then he started growling. I've never heard that dog growl before or since. The footsteps stopped outside my room again. The growling stopped instantly. Dead silence. I grabbed a cricket bat, counted to 3, and threw the bedroom door open. Nobody. Every light in the house was still off. I searched every room. Nothing. I barely slept. The next morning, I told my parents, who naturally blamed an old house settling. Fine. Except houses don't settle one step at a time. A week later, my granddad came over for tea. I casually mentioned the footsteps. He just looked at me for a few seconds. Then he asked, "They stopped outside the blue bedroom?" That was my room. I hadn't told him where I'd been sleeping. I asked how he knew. He shrugged and said, "They always stopped there." I thought he was joking. He wasn't smiling. He told me that years earlier, after my nan had passed away, he'd heard footsteps almost every night, always starting downstairs, always ending outside that same bedroom. He said he eventually got used to them. Then he said something that stuck with me ever since. I learned not to open the door. I laughed nervously and asked why. He simply replied, "Because the one time I did." Then he stopped talking. No matter how much I asked, he refused to finish the sentence. He changed the subject completely. Granddad passed away a few years later. After the funeral, we were clearing out the attic. I found an old cassette recorder in one of the boxes. Curiosity got the better of me. There was one tape inside. Most of it was static. Then, about halfway through, I heard my granddad's voice. He was testing the recorder, saying the date and talking about odd noises in the house. Then I heard footsteps. The exact same slow rhythm I'd heard. My granddad whispered, "There it is again." The footsteps got louder. He said, "It's outside the bedroom." There was a long pause. Then very quietly, "It's knocking." 3 soft taps. The recording ended. No explanation. No goodbye. Just silence. I still have that tape. Every few years, I convince myself I'll listen to it again. I never do.